So hi, my name is Cujo. I think most of the time when people film these kind of videos in their car, they do it like at nighttime because obviously you can see I kind of have to stay hunched to like have lighting on my face. I'm doing this in like the middle of the day and I'm like, ah, I'm getting blinded by the sun right now. I've seen these videos on YouTube recommended to me quite a bit, so I figured I was just gonna make my own Cujo version. Being blinded most of the time. And most of the time, it's like some very serious, heavy topic shit that they're talking about. I have a very heavy topic for you. I think I'm done. Yeah, I said it. I think that I'm done. And I'm kind of clickbaiting you a little bit. I'm saying that I'm kind of done with like this grind set YouTube mindset or like grind set mindset in general. That's bars right there. But since I was like 20, I've been making videos and posting once a week on YouTube for like quite a long time. I'm going to stick with that. I'm going to keep doing that just because I just enjoy making stuff, and like this is going to come out the week that I make it. I just really like making stuff in my free time anyway. But I think since I was 20 and when I was 19, I'd been making music since I was 19 and like posting super consistently, and same with when I turned 20, I started making videos and I wasn't super consistent at first, but then I decided shortly after not being consistent that I wanted to post once a week, and this is something that I wanted to do potentially to, add to a resume or just get better at production and like music or video. And I think I've accomplished that. Like I think I've gotten a lot better in a lot of ways, and I love posting consistently, but I think the whole time that I was doing that, I had this sense of urgency in the back of my head of like, hey, you need to freaking grind this out. You need to do cool edits. You need to make the cool videos. You need to figure this shit out pretty much. You need to be as cool as possible and like get better and grind and make money and do stuff. And for one, I've never really done this per se for the money. I did just want to improve at my craft and get better as a creator or just a person that wants to develop skills, not even like with a title necessarily. And I'm like really proud of the person that's sitting right in front of this camera right now, especially after all the time that I've spent making stuff and improving and not letting like numbers dictate what I do. And obviously if you're watching this, I'm a pretty small guy. It's not like I'm PewDiePie or Markiplier 2 or nothing. It's just been kind of a self journey that I've documented. But this video for me is kind of a way to tell myself that I don't want to have this sense of I need to improve, I need to get better, I need to do XYZ in order to like improve as a creator, because I think it limits me in a lot of ways. So I think I'm done in that regard. Like I look up to a lot of people on the platform on YouTube and on Twitch and on Spotify, or just people making music and art in general. I look up to a lot of people, and I wanted to be like a lot of them, and I wanted to be successful in this medium externally, I think. And I pushed myself a lot in that regard, wanting to be better and wanting to provide value for people and give a reason to come back and follow me and stuff. But I don't know. I think that I distanced myself from people watching me, or the person that is watching this right now, by doing that. And I'd been streaming the past couple weeks. I avoided a lot of like shorts and streaming because I felt like it was making my channel messy, and in my head I had this way that I wanted to do this stuff where like I wanted to make it presentable and like very professional. And as a person who didn't even really know what they were doing, I don't know why I bothered with that in the first place, and why I still even bother with that now, because it's always been something that I did for fun primarily, and it'd be cool to have a career that like comes from it, but I don't want to put that expectation on it or the urgency with it, because I couldn't give it up. I think in terms of like the art or just making stuff, like I don't know, it's a lifeline for me, and it's the reason I started, was because I felt like I had stuff to say and stuff to improve on and stuff to contribute in this medium. On Sunday this week, I took a day where I did 5 hours of meditation. It was basically like a mini retreat, and if you've ever meditated for 5 hours, but I took breaks in between, it wasn't like 5 hours straight. If you've ever done meditations for like 5 hours, my mind at the end of that was very ready to do something. It was very erratic. I think in that decision, normally I would be just like grinding music or grinding videos or just doing something to try to further your pal Cujo or get better at my job, try to like better myself in culture. And I think those 5 hours of meditation kind of gave me like the realization that I am really just doing it for other people and myself, but the focus needs to be on me finding enjoyment of the process with the things that I do. Hold on, let me adjust my seat. Maybe I'll stay in the light more if I do that. Kinda. Do I look freaky? I can't even tell what I look like in the camera. Hopefully I don't look freaky. But even this morning, today's my day off. I read Nietzsche, and normally I would wake up, I would do like a meditation or a journal, and then immediately just be working on ideas I have, working on things I want to accomplish, and kind of relentless. But I don't want to have that energy. I was equally productive in waking up and reading Nietzsche this morning. Even if it doesn't look like that, I was fueling my mind. Even with approaching this video right now, I have this sense of like just kind of going with the flow and moving with what comes up and just working with whatever I have and just letting the work be the work and let people decide if they like it or not. I just want to contribute as much as I can with the most enjoyment possible and the least sense of like urgency and the most sense of natural flow with life and the universe. So I'm done with the Sigma grind set. I'm done with trying to, make a career out of art and just focus on not really being like, I am working and then this is for play and this is for work and this is for building my relationships and like, I just kind of want to chill and just do my thing. And I would want that same realization or mindset for the person that's watching this, because I've done that for so long. I'm 24, so I've done that for 4 or 5 years. I've been really trying to be consistent, be on schedule, and it's not for me being burnt out or anything. I just don't like existing in that energy anymore. I'm not burnt out, obviously. I don't think I'd be sitting here if I was burnt out. And with the sense of me not feeling like, oh, I need to jump from this thing to that thing and finish that. Like, I can just sit here and be present with the video that I'm making right now. And in the editing process, I do the same thing. And I have some cool ideas for 2024 that I just want to give future me the best possible chance of executing it in the best way without having to be like, all right, you got to do this today in order to make sure you can do that like 2 days from now, because that's what I've done before. And in terms of like live streaming on YouTube and just kind of, doing my own thing, like it's been really fun. And I think that that's what I would always just want to do with the stuff that I'm doing, is just have the most enjoyment, the most fun in both the work and the play that I do, whatever you want to call any of it. Because even I've tried to make a game out of my day job and focus on the job and kind of gamify it, and at the same time like kind of mentally work on my own stuff, kind of mentally toss ideas around in my head while I'm at work. It's really fun. Like, my whole day is really fun when I don't have that sense of having to keep up with like work culture and having to keep up with the Joneses, if you will, and just work at my own pace and just live life and play games and enjoy my hobbies and have fun. I think in realizing this, I've been reading a lot more. I've been just doing a lot more recreational stuff and really just focusing on being better at the stuff that I want to be better at in a very humanistic, compassionate way with myself. The culture does not encourage that. Like, the internet doesn't encourage that. The culture, school, work, anywhere you go, doesn't really encourage this sense of you should just focus on being and existing and having compassion for yourself. No. We can't tell them that. They have to grind. They have to better their life. They have to make sure that tomorrow them is set in a better position. And I think there's truth in that. You don't want to set tomorrow you in a worse position, but you can do that with a sense of ease and a sense of joy and fun and relaxation while you do the work. Yeah, so maybe I'll leave you with something that you can maybe consider or think about doing. If you watch till this point, I think it's good to try to better yourself, but with an acceptance of who you are in this current moment and where you're at. You can better yourself without a sense of, needing to accomplish things. And I think a pure acceptance of, this is my life, and if I'm here for the rest of my life, I'm okay with that. And then that allows me to fully pursue the things that I want to pursue without this sense of like trying to run away from something. And it makes me a lot better at the things that I'm doing, in my opinion. And that's my recommendation for you. I think having compassion for yourself and a full acceptance of where you're at is something that will allow you to actually flourish and move on from where you're at without this sense of like needing to have to run away from your position or run away from who you are. I think meditation works really good for me. It's allowed me to look at a lot of my own thought loops over time. This has been a really hard one for me to catch, I think, because it's been so subconscious and so deeply instilled in me from when I went to school as a kid up until now, that I can do the same work that I'm doing, but not with this sense of like I have to get from here to there. Because if I never got from here to there, then it always led to suffering every single time. And even if I did control it or I didn't control the circumstances that happened, every time I would suffer, every single time. With the mindset that I've been using, it's like I don't suffer more than I need to. Like maybe I'm in physical pain or the situation I'm in sucks, but my mind isn't adding on to the suffering that I have to go through and making it way worse than it is. That feels really good. Like it's cool to just kind of sit here and just kind of riff to my camera and know that I'm going to be okay no matter where I end up. It makes me think of an earlier time when I was a teenager. I ended up being homeless with my mother, and we lived with her friend for a while. And I didn't really have anything. I ended up borrowing a PlayStation 2 and playing Shadow of the Colossus all the way through in one sitting. In that point of time, I learned a lot from my mother's friend. She taught me a lot about life. But in living in that situation, I ended up saying that I was okay. I ended up being okay in the end. I'm sitting right here in my car. Life isn't perfect by any means. It's very, very far from perfect. But in knowing like concepts like wu-wei or wabi-sabi and all sorts of philosophy, like I said, it's given way more of a sense of ease in things that I am doing and when I am not doing. When I am meditating or reading or even just chilling in my bed or chilling in my car or just doing whatever, just making everything very easy. I think a lot of value I've gained was from people kind of doing this exact same thing in their car too. So anyway, hopefully something I said in here gave you some value or some insight or made you think about things a little bit differently. I don't think we have to do this super like grind set thing that gets pushed on the internet and YouTube all the time. I mean, for me, it always just led to more suffering when I didn't reach the things that people said that I should reach. And if I did reach them, then immediately I would be looking towards the next thing like, oh my gosh, I have to capitalize on this. And yeah, if you follow me, you'll probably see that more stuff I make doesn't really add up or make a lick of sense in terms of making a sustainable or presentable YouTube channel or something like that. Hello, you've gotten a lot closer with me now. Here, can we get good lighting here? This will work, I think. Yeah, my camera's getting like cooked and I'm probably gonna go. So if you watched till this point, thank you for taking the time to watch this. I appreciate it very much. Hopefully you find some insight or some value from whatever I said. I'm going to bounce before my camera ends up exploding in my car in my face. Like, So yeah, thank you for taking the time to watch this. I love you very much, and goodbye now.